Ladies and gentlemen, you don't have to fight every battle. You don't have to get revenge. The moment you were wrong, justice was already set in motion. The universe doesn't let evil go unpunished. God doesn't ignore pain. The Bible tells us in Romans 12:19, do not take revenge, my dear friends, but leave room for God's wrath. For it is written, it is mine to avenge. I will repay, says the Lord. What does that mean? It means that the moment someone hurts you, cheats you, betrays you, or wrongs you in any way, you do not have to worry about making them pay. You do not have to exhaust yourself with anger, bitterness, or the desire for revenge. The reason is simple. God's justice is already in motion. The laws of the universe are set up in a way that no wrongdoing goes unnoticed. Think about it. How often do we see people who act unjustly, who lie, manipulate, or deceive, thinking they have gotten away with it? At first, it may seem like they are succeeding. They may look like they are living a great life, untouched by their actions. But time and time again, we see the truth. What they sow, they will reap. It may take days, months, or even years, but the fall always comes. Think about it. No one escapes God's justice. God's justice does not work on human timelines. That is why people get frustrated. They see someone who hurt them thriving, and they think, where is the justice? Why is nothing happening? But what they don't realize is that God operates on a higher level. He sees things we do not see. He understands things we do not understand. And when he acts, it is always in the perfect way and at the perfect time. Look at history. Look at people who built their lives on lies, deceit, and selfishness. Sooner or later, their world collapses. They lose what they thought was secure. The truth comes out. Their own actions turn against them. That is God's justice in action. It happens over and over again because it is a law of the universe. No one can escape the consequences of their actions. Now, what does that mean for you? It means peace. It means you do not have to waste your energy on resentment. You do not have to be consumed with anger, waiting for karma to strike. You can let go. You can move forward with confidence, knowing that God is handling it. When you truly believe this, you free yourself from negativity. You shift your focus from revenge to growth. Instead of staying stuck in the past, you move towards your future. And that is where your power lies, not in trying to control justice yourself, but in trusting that it is already in motion. The moment you understand this, you will live with unshakable faith, knowing that every wrong done to you is already being made right by a force far greater than you could ever imagine. The greatest mistake you can make is trying to take revenge yourself. So often, when we are wronged, the first thing that comes to our minds is the desire to make the other person feel the same pain they caused us. We want them to pay for their actions, to feel the consequences of their betrayal, dishonesty, or hurt. But what happens when we pursue revenge? The first thing that occurs is that we begin to carry the weight of anger, bitterness, and resentment with us. These emotions, instead of affecting the person who wronged us, eat away at us from the inside. We become consumed by the thought of how we can get even or how we can teach them a lesson. But in the process, we become prisoners to our emotions. We allow their actions to control our lives long after the incident has passed. Well, instead of finding peace, we find ourselves trapped in a cycle of negative emotions, dragging that hurt around with us. When you try to take revenge, you don't just harm the other person, you harm yourself. That bitterness takes root deep inside your heart. It clouds your judgment and poisons your spirit. It's like carrying around a heavy weight all the time. That weight may seem to give you a sense of control or justice in the moment, but in the long run, it only holds you back from healing and moving forward. Now, why should you let go of that desire for revenge? Because it's not about giving the other person a free pass. It's about your own freedom. You are not meant to be chained to the actions of others. You are not meant to live a life driven by the wrongs done to you. God calls us to forgive, not because the offense was acceptable, but because forgiveness is the only way for us to find peace and healing. When you let go of revenge, you are opening the door for God's justice to take its course. You are saying, I will not be defined by this pain. I trust that God will make it right. Think about the countless times when people wronged others, and that person chose not to seek revenge, but instead moved on with their life. Often the person who wronged them ends up facing the consequences of their actions without any further intervention from the wronged individual. God's timing is always perfect. His justice is thorough, and it does not need our help to succeed. By forgiving and letting go of the desire for revenge, you become empowered. You take control over your own emotions, your own peace, and your own future. You stop allowing others to dictate how you feel or how you live. Instead of focusing on hurting someone else, you focus on your own growth, your own progress, and your own journey. This is where true power lies. Not in seeking to bring someone else down, but in rising above your own circumstances, free from the chains of bitterness. Ultimately, revenge will never bring you peace. It will never restore what was lost or heal the wounds that were caused. But when you trust in God and release that burden, you will find the peace that surpasses all understanding. And that peace is the true victory. Now, I know what you're thinking, but why did God let them hurt me in the first place? It's a question many of us have asked when facing hardship, pain, and betrayal. It's natural to want answers when something unfair happens to us. Why do bad things happen to good people? Why do we have to go through suffering, especially when we've done nothing wrong? These questions aren't easy to answer. But let me tell you something important. Pain has a purpose. The truth is, pain is often the most powerful teacher we will ever encounter. It doesn't make sense in the moment, but when we look back, we can often see how much we've grown through adversity. Pain is not something to avoid or escape from, but something to learn from. Every time we experience a trial, we are presented with an opportunity to become better, stronger, and more resilient. The person you are today, the one who's stronger, wiser, and more determined, is not the same person you were before you faced pain. Pain forces us to confront ourselves, to question our limits, to face our fears. In fact, if we never faced hardships, we would never know how strong we truly are. Think about it. How would we know what we are capable of if we never had to push through difficult times? It's through overcoming challenges that we tap into a level of strength we didn't know existed. Every obstacle is an opportunity to stretch, grow, and develop. It's like weightlifting for your soul. The more resistance you face, the stronger you become. Pain also teaches us humility. It makes us realize that we are not invincible, that we are human, and that we don't have control over everything. This is a hard lesson, but it's one that brings us closer to understanding the bigger picture. When we are humbled by our experiences, we become more compassionate, more understanding of others who are going through their own struggles. We learn empathy, and we begin to see the world not just from our own perspective, but from the perspectives of others who are hurting too. Moreover, adversity helps us develop a deeper faith and trust in God. When we are in the midst of pain, we are often forced to rely on something greater than ourselves. We realize that we cannot handle everything on our own, and it is in these moments that we turn to God for comfort, guidance, and strength. We learn to lean on Him more fully, knowing that He is our refuge in times of trouble. It is through the hardest moments that we discover the depth of God's love and grace. And it is in the struggle that we experience His presence in ways we never could in times of peace. So while pain is uncomfortable and difficult, it is also transformative. It shapes us, molds us, and prepares us for what lies ahead. Without it, we would remain stagnant, unable to grow into the individuals we are meant to be. And in the end, that's what God wants for us, to grow, to learn, and to become more like Him. The suffering you face today is not the end of your story. It is a chapter that will lead you to a greater version of yourself, one who is unshakable, stronger, and more capable of fulfilling the purpose God has for you. Here's the truth: what goes around comes around. It's not just a catchy saying, it's a principle that governs the universe. It's the law of cause and effect. The idea that every action, whether good or bad, will eventually return to the one who set it in motion. No one escapes this law, no matter who they are, where they come from, or how powerful they might seem. Karma, the law of moral cause and effect, ensures that eventually the wrongdoers face the consequences of their actions, just as the good will reap the rewards of their kindness and integrity. Think about the people who seem to get away with hurting others. Maybe they lie, cheat, or manipulate to get ahead. For a while, it might seem like they are winning, that they have all the advantages, that they can continue to harm others without consequences. But the reality is that their actions are building up, creating a force that will eventually come back to them. And even if it doesn't happen right away, even if it doesn't happen on your timeline, it will happen. Karma never forgets. This is one of the most important things you can understand. You do not need to carry the weight of justice. When you see someone who wronged you seeming to prosper, it's easy to feel frustrated and angry. It's easy to think, why are they getting away with this? Where is the justice? But remember, you're only seeing a moment in time. You don't see the full story. You don't know what's happening behind the scenes in their hearts or in their future. Karma works in its own timing. The universe keeps perfect records, and the consequences of their actions will find them when they least expect it. This is why, when you've been hurt, you don't need to waste your energy on revenge. You don't need to chase down justice or try to make them feel the pain they caused you. The universe already has a way of balancing the scales. In fact, when you focus on seeking justice for yourself, you only delay the inevitable. Your focus should not be on their downfall, but on your own growth. Let them deal with their own actions and let the universe handle what is to come. If you trust in the law of karma, you'll understand that seeking revenge isn't necessary. You'll stop trying to force things to happen. You'll realize that those who have hurt you will eventually pay the price. Not because you want them to, but because it is the natural consequence of their actions. And in the meantime, you'll find peace. Imagine you're on a journey. You're walking toward your future, a future full of growth, opportunities, and blessings. Along the way, someone tries to knock you off the path, lying, deceiving, or hurting you in some way. Instead of getting distracted and going after them, you stay focused on your destination. You keep moving forward. Why? Because your future is not determined by their actions. It's determined by yours. And in the end, that person who tried to harm you will face the natural consequences of their behavior. Their actions will come back to them, just as yours will reflect your integrity, your kindness, and your strength. The law of karma ensures that every action matters and that justice will always prevail in the end. It may not happen in the moment, but it will happen. And when you let go of the need to control it, you free yourself to focus on what really matters, your own growth and the path you are walking. Let the universe handle the rest. Now, listen to me closely. Forgiveness doesn't mean weakness. It doesn't mean that what the person did to you is okay or that you're excusing their behavior. Forgiveness is not about letting someone off the hook. It's about freeing yourself from the grip of anger, bitterness, and pain that their actions may have caused you. It's about choosing to rise above the wrong that was done and moving forward with your life rather than staying stuck in the past. When someone hurts you, it's easy to feel justified in holding on to that anger. You feel wronged, and that anger becomes a part of you. It's as if that hurt defines who you are, and that anger gives you a sense of control or power. But the reality is that holding on to that hurt, that anger, doesn't actually affect the other person. It affects you. It holds you back. It chains you to the past. It keeps you from moving forward, from finding peace, and from healing. Forgiveness doesn't mean you let the person get away with what they did. It doesn't mean you have to continue to allow them into your life or trust them again. In fact, forgiveness is often the first step in creating healthy boundaries and moving on from toxic relationships. But it does mean that you choose to stop allowing their actions to control your emotions and your future. By forgiving them, you take away the power they once held over you. You stop being a victim of their behavior, and you start reclaiming your strength. In reality, forgiveness is one of the most powerful things you can do for yourself. When you forgive, you are choosing peace. You are saying, I will not let this situation define me. I will not let this pain control my life. Forgiveness is an act of strength, not weakness. It requires you to rise above the emotions that would otherwise keep you chained to the wrong that was done. It requires a level of self-awareness and emotional maturity that allows you to release the negativity and take control of your own healing process. It's important to remember that forgiveness doesn't mean you forget what happened. It doesn't mean you erase the experience from your memory. It means you refuse to let it continue to hurt you. You choose to let go of the resentment, the anger, the bitterness that only serve to keep you in a state of suffering. When you forgive, you release those negative emotions and open up space in your heart for healing, for peace, and for new opportunities to come into your life. In a way, forgiveness is an act of self-care. It's about putting yourself first, about choosing your own peace over holding on to past pain. It's about deciding that you will not allow anyone or anything to rob you of your joy, your peace, or your future. And in doing so, you open the door for true healing to take place. Forgiveness is liberating. It frees you from the chains of anger and bitterness, and it empowers you to live your life to the fullest, no longer shackled by the past. Ultimately, forgiveness is not about the other person. It's about you. It's about choosing to step into a life of peace, strength, and emotional freedom. When you forgive, you allow yourself the chance to heal, to grow, and to move forward into the life you're meant to live. And that is the kind of power that transforms your life. At the end of the day, you have two choices. You can either stay bitter, angry, and chained to the past, or you can rise above the pain, let go of what has hurt you, and move forward into the future God has prepared for you. This is one of the most powerful decisions you'll ever make because it will determine the direction of your life. When you hold on to bitterness, resentment, past hurts, you are choosing to remain stuck. You are allowing what happened to you to define who you are today and who you will be in the future. But when you choose to rise above the pain, you're choosing to take control of your life. You're choosing to let go of the things that weigh you down and open yourself up to new possibilities, growth, and transformation. Rising above pain doesn't mean ignoring it or pretending it didn't happen. It doesn't mean suppressing your emotions or pretending you're okay when you're not. Rising above pain means that despite what you've been through, you refuse to let it control you. You acknowledge the hurt, but you don't let it keep you in a state of suffering. You make the conscious decision to heal, to move forward, and to use the lessons from your experiences to become a stronger, wiser person. You see, pain is inevitable in life. Every single person, no matter how successful, how rich, or how perfect their life may seem, will face challenges, struggles, and heartbreak. But the key to overcoming pain is how you respond to it. The pain itself doesn't define you. It's your response to that pain that shapes who you become. When you choose to rise above it, you tap into a strength you never knew you had. You learn more about yourself. You gain a deeper understanding of others, and you develop the resilience to face whatever challenges come your way. One of the most powerful things that comes from rising above pain is the ability to help others who are going through similar struggles. The truth is, we all face hardships. We all encounter obstacles in our lives. And when we rise above them, we not only transform ourselves, but we also become an inspiration to others. Your story of overcoming pain can be the encouragement someone else needs to find hope in their own journey. The strength you gain through adversity becomes a beacon of light to others who might be struggling in silence, showing them that healing and growth are possible. Choosing to rise above pain also allows you to discover a deeper connection to your faith. When you face difficulties and challenges, you often find yourself leaning more on God, seeking His guidance, strength, and comfort. This process deepens your relationship with Him. As you release the pain and trust Him to guide you through it, you become more attuned to His purpose for your life and to His power in your circumstances. You begin to realize that no matter what happens, He is with you every step of the way, leading you through the valleys and bringing you into new heights of growth and success. In the end, rising above pain is about choosing to thrive, not just survive. It's about stepping into the fullness of who you were created to be, embracing the lessons from your struggles, and becoming a living testament to the power of faith, resilience, and forgiveness. It's about realizing that no matter how much pain you've been through, your future is still bright, your potential is still limitless, and your best days are yet to come. In conclusion, understand this: God will strike down those who hurt you, not because you want them to suffer, but because His justice is perfect and unshakable. You don't have to carry the weight of revenge or allow the pain others cause you to define your life. Forgiveness is not weakness, but a powerful act of strength that frees you to move forward, not shackled by past hurts, but empowered to step into the fullness of your future. Pain, as difficult as it may be, is not meaningless. It has the power to shape you, to make you stronger, and to prepare you for the life that awaits you. As you rise above the pain, you're not just letting go of the past, you're choosing to grow, to learn, and to move forward with confidence, knowing that God's timing is perfect and His justice is sure. Trust in the law of cause and effect. Know that every wrong will be made right in its own time. You don't need to fight every battle because God's wrath is already in motion, and He will repay those who have hurt you. Remember, life is not about what happens to you, but how you respond. Rise above the pain, choose forgiveness, and trust in God's perfect plan. When you do, you'll find peace, strength, and the freedom to step into a future greater than you ever imagined. Keep your focus on your journey, on your growth, and on the blessings that await you, and know that you are always in the hands of a loving, just, and powerful God who will never let go of you. Keep moving forward. Your victory is coming.